Here. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just going to update this. We are live. Just going to put the link. Give me a second, folks. Just tweeting out the link, and then I'll be with you. All right. Hi, everybody. So I've been very, very busy, and all of a sudden, this dropped into my lap today. So I'm going to give my thoughts about what happened with the Spotify situation. That is kind of a story that's breaking as we talk. And if we have time a little bit later for super chats, I will get to those at the very end. Oh, so hi to Tim, people. Anyway, so I was on Twitter, and an account whose name I didn't recognize, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, tweeted at me that 2 of my appearances on Rogan had been deleted. Yeah, I'll get to all this in a second. Good question. And I was like, okay, maybe this is one second. I was like, okay, let me double check, so I went to Spotify, I scrolled down to both of those episodes, and they were gone. So it's like, what numbers are they? 1197 and 963 here. So those are 2 of my 6 total Rogan appearances. Now, so I knew at least that it wasn't me being personally targeted, because the 4 other episodes were left up there. There's a website called jremissing.com. And if you go to it, it's constantly checking, and it will tell you if episodes have been missing. So when I looked at that site, I saw that today a total of 71 episodes had been pulled from Rogan's back catalog on Spotify. And let me read through which those are. I'll do them in reverse order. So there were a few that, people have been conflating a lot of things, and I want to clarify what I know as far as I know, and my information is fairly limited. When Rogan went to Spotify, they said, we want some of these past episodes pulled, and he said, okay, that's cool with me. There was an article about it at the time. I'm sure you guys can find it, but this is when he became a Spotify exclusive. So some of those have been missing for quite some. Bridget's calling me. I'm doing a live stream, Bridget. Hi, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Bye, honey. Bridget Fedesi is one of the best people on earth. And if you are not following her on Twitter, you're really missing out. I just absolutely adore her. So anyway, so here are the episodes that got pulled today in reverse order, meaning starting from most recently and then going back to the past. Most recently, Gad Sad, who I think is just an amazing person. Then, and this is an odd one, he's another pair of Canadians, Mike Ward and Pantelis, who are friends of mine, me, Kyle Kalinske. I don't know Kyle. I don't know much about him. All I know about him is that he's a red-pilled leftist who I get along with better, frankly, than I do with conservatives. Because even where we disagree, we can have an honest exchange of ideas, and those are great conversations, in my opinion. So I'm preemptively saying I'm probably a big fan of Kyle without being too familiar with his work. Theo Vaughn, who I think, isn't he pretty? I think pretty much everyone likes Theo, is my understanding. Tom Segura. Then an episode with Ari Shafir, Brett Kreischer, and Tom Segura again. Then another one of my episodes. Then another Theo Vaughn episode. Pete Holmes. Big J Okerson. Big J is hilarious. He's one of the Legion of Skanks with Louis J. Gomez, and some other guy. Just if you ever have a chance to see Big J. Okerson in concert, absolutely do it. It's just an amazing show. He's like just a killer on the mic. TJ Kirk, I'm not familiar with him. Aubrey Marcus. Aubrey, is also involved with On It. I don't think he's a particularly controversial figure, certainly not regarding politics. Brian Redban. Then an episode with Tom Segura and Christina Pazitsky. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm sure it's not the first time. Russell Peters, Ryan Parsons, Rich Voss. Rich is a hilarious comedian, just married to Bonnie McFarlane. Both great, great people. Dan Savage, another one with Bert Kreischer. Then Dan Savage. Dan Savage is an AIDS activist, a gay rights activist, sex columnist. So that's really kind of interesting. Moishe Kasher, I don't know who he is. Eliza Schlesinger, who I believe is a comedian who's also has a very good reputation from my limited knowledge. Neil Brennan, Shane Smith, Mark Maron. Mark Maron is one of the big left-wing voices out there, major podcaster. Another one, Bert Kreischer. One with Ari Shaffir and Amy Schumer. One with Greg Fitzsimmons. Stanley Krippner and Christopher Ryan. I'm not familiar with them. J.D. Kelly. Sam Sheridan. Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss? Tim Ferriss is not a controversial figure. Ian Edwards. Ari Shaffir. Two with Maynard J. Keenan. Giorgio Tsoukalis. Is that Koss? That's not Koss. Ari Shaffir. Brody Stevens. Stephen Ranella. Nick Thune. Dave Attell. Dave Attell is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Brian Redban. Kevin Smith, but only part 4. Bert Kreischer again. Jamie Kilstein. Ari Shaffir again. Russell Peters and Junior Simpson. Neil Brennan again. Brian Posehn. He's this like giant comedian. He's like 6'6". He's very, very, very funny. Cliffy B and Johnny Cristo. Duncan Trussell. Doug Benson. John Heffron. Jim Norton. Bill Burr. Andy Dick. Okay, Andy Dick I think got canceled, but he's still, very funny. Dave Foley. Sam Tripoli. Ari Shaffir again. Nick Swartzen. Duncan Trussell. Little Lester. Brian Redban. Duncan Trussell again. Tyler Knight. Sam Tripoli. Brian Redban. Tom Segura. And Brian Redban again. And it was episode number 4, which that really kind of makes me sad that they're going to pull the early ones. So this kind of makes me try to figure out what it is that is going on here, because how is it that what do all these things have in common? So, and if it was one thing, if they were targeting me, they would have pulled all 6. Here's the thing. They left the 2 controversial COVID episodes, and that would have been even easy to cover if they had said, well, in order to prevent misinformation, we're pulling the COVID episodes, because they kind of laid the groundwork for that. And we're also pulling this other stuff. So it's really kind of, I was trying to figure out what all these different organizations have in common. The best theory I've heard is that they ran some kind of filter. And as anyone, who knows about programming knows, there's 2 problems with when you have any kind of filter. One is you're letting things in you don't want. So the filter fails in that regard. The other way is it's blocking things that you want to let in. So those are 2 issues. So who knows what it could have been, but clearly they ran some kind of filter and tagged all these different episodes. For the life of me, I can't remember what I said during those 3. Here's the thing, when you do Rogan, it's such a intimate, personal conversation in that little room. As soon as you leave, and I've had this experience, and Bridget's had this experience, Blair White's had this experience. As soon as you leave, and other people I've talked to had this experience, I'm not telling tales outside of school. As soon as you leave, you think to yourself, oh crap, what'd I say? Because you're having at least for me, and people I know, you're having the conversation with Rogan. It is a conversation. You can't stay on, or at least I can't stay on for 3 hours at a time. with someone who's so personable. You can't really do that. So then you leave and you're like, oh crap, what did I say? What am I gonna get in trouble for? The only thing I've only gotten in trouble for a couple of things. One, saying that everyone in Britain's ugly, and also questioning the idea that the people who believe in climate change, who are positions of power, believe what they're saying. But that was pretty much it. So I don't know. I haven't talked to Joe. I don't. But here's what's really odd to me. They could have easily said, you know what? We looked at our past catalog and we eliminated episodes based on X. The fact that they haven't even said anything or addressed this, in my view, makes them look bad, because then they're behind the story, like they're not catching up to it. So it's really kind of a bizarre thing that this is happening, just in terms of business on their end. So I don't have any further information. I gotta say a very special shout out to my supporters at malice.locals.com, because if I didn't have that support, I would be kind of really freaking out right now, because this is clearly something that's going in a certain direction, and I don't know where it's heading. But I think if people are smelling kind of blood, Jesus Christ, people are smelling blood in the water, and I don't know where this is going to end up. So that's kind of all I know, and what anyone knows at this point. My understanding, and I have not spoken to Joe about this at all, is that I don't know. Like, I don't know that. I have absolutely no idea what the particulars of his contract with Spotify were. So I don't know if he had to approve this, he didn't approve this. Oh my God, good Lord, people. So that's the situation there. I'll answer a few super chats. I'm gonna just turn off my phone. There we go. So that's what's going on there. I'm continue writing on the white pill. Let me see if I can answer some quick questions about this. I'll go to the top, but not all the super chats are kind of displaying. So, okay, let me just do this. Okay, how do I do? StreamYard is not very effective in terms of their whatchamacallit, interface. So I'm going to try. Okay, let's do this. Okay, da-da-da-dun. Okay, here we go. Ottawa police calls the convoy an illegal occupation. Hours later, GoFundMe suspends the fundraiser because of an occupation, not a protest. I'm genuinely afraid for my future here and I have no means of getting out. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Do whatever you can to save up money, because this is temporary, and get the F out of there, is my opinion, if you're asking for it, which it's not clear that you are. What else? Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to play catch up here. Okay. Get sticks on, or I'm removing the rest of your episodes. That's pretty funny. Do you know a way of accessing the missing episodes? Yes, archive.org, I think, has them. And if you search for them, Rogan's the biggest podcast on earth. It's all going to be all over the internet. So it wouldn't be that hard. And I'm sure if you go to my tweets, people have been replying with links, is my understanding. 70 episodes deleted. Yeah, that's correct. Hold on. I'm a trans woman, and your good work gave me the change to transition, and assert my sovereignty as an individual. Also started Don't Tread on Philly, don'ttreadonphilly.com. Good for you. I hope you're finding happiness and contentment in your new life. Just do the opposite of whatever Blair White does. Here's my peaceful protest. What the hell? The 2 episodes they pulled have to do with misinformation. But the 2 episodes were way before COVID. So it doesn't make sense if that was their metric. And the 2 controversial COVID episodes with Dr. Malone, and I forget the other one's name, are still there. So it's not that, although they would have certainly had cover to do those 2. Never sent a letter with the Anarchist Handbook Dynamite pins. Thank you for taking on Glenn Beck. It helps a lot with homeschool funds. Great. I have them still here, so thank you for making them. Next ice cream for you and friend once the Austin ice melts is on me. No questions tonight, just a thank you for all you do. Well, thank you, Sean. That's very appreciated. Dairy Queen was closed yesterday, and I couldn't meet my macros. It could be a filter, could be a curated cull. I don't think this was curated. It just, maybe it was. But if they were going to curate, I would think they would pick all of someone's episodes. Gad Sad, but only one of his. Part 4 of Kevin Smith. I'd like to know your thoughts on Biden saying no amendments absolute. Yeah, he's just saying the quiet part out loud. First of all, the Supreme Court said this. The Supreme Court, which is why I'm an anarchist, said, well, no right isn't free from regulation. Yeah, that's what not only is that true, that's also what the Bill of Rights says. So he's absolutely correct in terms of his understanding of how the law really works. If any of you think the First Amendment and Second Amendment it's like you're going to go to Biden and he's going to have some gun law, and you're going to go Second Amendment, he's going to like, oh, and the paper's going to start bursting to fire. Doesn't work that way. The Supreme Court's what decides this. And the Supreme Court is confirmed by the Senate, and the Senate's going to confirm people that lets the Senate do what it wants. That's the loophole that the founding fathers either couldn't see or couldn't avoid, and that's why the state is not salvageable and will never be a good, or as good as it could be, protector of liberty. Okay. Thanks for everything. Does it look like that episode will happen? Yes. So Monday, I'm going to be recording it Monday. Thaddeus Russell gotten some crap on Twitter. I wanted him to come on my show to discuss what was going on. So he's going to do that so he can say his piece in a respectful forum. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Amanda. You're an authority on the alt-right. It's being used as a pejorative to dismiss any red pill folks. They don't want people to actually understand who is alt-right. This is nothing new. And the definition of alt-right has changed over time. Why won't you say Owen Benjamin's name? Okay. It's ridiculous it took down 2 interviews pre-COVID. Great interview with Corey. Corey's the best. Thank you for being you. Effing hilarious. May you live 100 years. Bridget, you and many others pulled me out of the darkest period of my life. These are the kind of messages that I love to hear. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Could you please put an episode about existentialism with your guest of choice and talk about Camus? Camus is not an existentialist. He regarded himself as an absurdist. There was a great book that came out recently about the history of existentialism. Look at it on my Goodreads. It's something like Apricot. I forget what it's called. At the Existentialist Cafe. So that will tell you what you need to know. Is deleting podcast episodes a new book burning? No, because book burning worked. Before the internet, there's finite amounts of books. You burn them, no one can read them. Now, if something's not on Spotify, you have backups in seconds. So that's why I'm so confident about the future. Tim speculated it could have been stuff Joe said, not necessarily what you might have said. I don't think it was something I would. Even though you can't stay on in that show, you still are somewhat aware of what's acceptable and not acceptable in society. Rogan or the guests said the N-word most of these, including your 963. But if that was their criterion, which is whatever criterion they want, whatever, they should have said, hey, we're removing these episodes because of language. Frankly, they should have bleeped the language, if anything. But I don't know how it works. Keep your cool. I have to say, I hope Lex gets some answers in his upcoming interview with Zuckerberg. Lex is great. He's just absolutely great. It is possible for them to edit one of episodes if they re-upload. With 2 or 3 hours of conversation per episode would be something people would notice. Given the amount of people who are on the spectrum who watch podcasts, there's no possibility it wouldn't be noticed. And actually, it'd be very easy. Even I, who's a complete boomer when it comes to technology, you have one episode, you have another, you put the sound files next to each other, you see where it starts to have a disconnect, and you'll know the timestamp. Like in 1 minute, you'll be able to figure out where the timestamp is. Is the Kafka angle on Occam's razor applicable? In other words, Spotify just shows 70 episodes other than to show they're willing to act. I do not agree that they would do that because they would have to answer to the public and to Joe. So I don't think that's the case. Do you think the episodes were removed because you promoted? You want to get me demonetized? Maybe you do. Worse things have happened to better people. In your honest opinion, who has a legit chance winning the 2024 election? In my honest opinion, whoever the nominee is for either party. I don't, in the same way, I think no one at this point would have seen Trump as the nominee in 2016. No one saw Biden as the nominee at this point in 2018, or very few, even though he had name recognition. It was like, come on, Biden's really going to get it. So we don't know who's going to be the president in 2024. What is the difference between anarchism and libertarianism? Testosterone. As a recovering alcoholic, obviously, obviously I'm a big fan of gateway drugs. As a reward for my new job, I finally let myself jump into raw denim and got myself a pair of unbranded 121s. Unbranded is Naked and Famous's sister line, where they make salvage denim at an affordable price. Great, great stuff there. What's your favorite part of collecting denim? First of all, just having any collection is really fun, but also having so much variety to wear every day and have different pair of pants every day, and also watching them fade over time. That's the thrill of denim. Can I try to recruit you to teach certain people how to troll? Not for $5. You were right. Magic is real. Yes. I have proof. I have receipts. Thank you for being the genuine good odd hearted deplorable you are. I totally agree with you. Not being able to see a pattern is very unsettling. What are you, like 16? Where are you kids coming from? Good Lord, you make me feel so old. That's a good picture. I like that picture. Nice draw. The corporate press is going to antagonize Rogan into the presidency. Would love to see You're Welcome with Pedro Gonzalez. I don't think he even follows me. But that's not a bad... Is that really him? I can't tell if it's really him. Spend this on something to finally hang your portrait on the wall behind you. I don't know if I want to hang that or like... So I have a bunch of like... I'll show you something else that's on the floor here. So this... I'm getting the frame for it. This is a death certificate signed by Beria, who was one of Stalin's worst torturers. And it's just like, I'm getting the nice frame, but can you see that? Yeah, there's Beria's signature on the bottom. The thing, and you look at this, it's just shitty typewriter paper. The ink is cheap, bleeding out. And just like that, it's someone's life. It's not even, you're not even worth a piece of decent paper in Soviet Russia. So I might hang this. I also have right over there something signed by Robespierre. So, but I don't know if it's going to glare or not. I haven't hung up all my pictures yet. The Alex Jones in me says this is curated in as much as it appears random, yet they're taking out innocents, so the real targets don't seem so obvious. I don't think that's plausible, but I can understand why you'd guess that. My counter's saying there's only 8 people here. That can't be right. You gave me the courage to transition. Oh, you already did this. Stop sending me money. Buy some makeup, toots. Hold on. Okay, let me catch up here. I feel like there are less and less places online to listen to people speaking freely. What are your thoughts? And do you think Joe will leave Spotify? I have no thoughts on Joe leaving Spotify. I'm not privy to that information. I don't agree that there's less and less places online. I don't. I think we're just seeing they have to be more heavy-handed. And they're not... Oh, there's 4,000. Okay, they're not going down without a fight. Again, those episodes can still be seen anywhere. Not anywhere, but you can find them. Wrote Ted Cruz demanding the GoFund people tell a committee why they froze donations for truckers. Did I just turn myself into a statist? No. If you walk down the street, are you in favor of public roads? If you use a stamp, are you in favor of the post office? Use every resource of the state possible that you paid for with your tax money and don't feel any guilt about it. The people who should feel guilt about it are the people who are taking something out of it without contributing something and endorsing more theft. Trucker GoFundMe pulled, Rogan's episodes pulled, multiple government entities making moves. I don't believe in coincidences, a coordinated blitz. I don't think it's okay. There's a difference between coordination and bandwagon, right? So it could very easily be, and I'm not saying it's this, that one something does this, then they're like, oh, while they're distracted, I'll do this, which would give my company crap. Oh, while they're doing, you know what I mean? It could be either way. Do you know if Rogan can push back on Spotify? I'm sure he could call them and yell at them. I mean, Mike, I want to say thanks for helping me see through the BS. I look to you and Jocko as role models. Any possibility you will get him on the podcast or you on his once White Pill comes out? Um, I don't know if he knows who I am. He'd be a good guest. I'm not familiar with him that much. Are there any updates from official figures around this? Could this be an error of thoughts? I have no further information. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much. Is the most retrain is revolution on the horizon? Is it necessary? I don't think revolution is on the horizon, and I don't think it's necessary. 2024, Trump versus Hillary. It's not going to happen. Like she's not that liked in the Democratic Party. Like that's. I mean, people don't get that. Thank you for being yourself. That you're why I circumvent. You're why I circumvented by Twitter van. I don't know what that. My Twitter. I don't know what you're saying. Random number generator, great marketing. That's pretty funny. Okay. Do you think a civil war will occur in the US in the near future? I really, really do not. It's my 27th birthday. Just want to thank you for the endless optimism you provide. It's really made a difference to my life. Good. That's my favorite part of my job. Besides hurting people who deserve it. How did you grow up in Brooklyn in the 90s and have no affection for hip hop? If you want to, my version of New York in the 90s is Delight. That's how. Thanks for the love. Also, can you please keep the noise down, neighbor? It's 8 p.m. on Friday night. Well, I'm going to go do squats. So that's that. You were a life changer. Oh, that's so nice. Well, that's very sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Okay, the left is not the left hates you and everyone you love. Truck protesters are more proof. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. It's not just it's the people in power. It's not just the left. Or there's plenty of people on the left who are good people. There's plenty of people who are on the right who are very in that regard. Mitch McConnell just came out and said that those January 6 people should basically be rotten hell. So white pill mantra, I always try to remind myself, is that the worse the cathedral gets, the more people are fed up and wake up. Also wearing sheath. My genitals say thank you. Sheath under. They're coming over my house tomorrow because we're going to launch a pair of undies I designed. Speaking of Beria, have you seen the movie Death of Stalin? I have, and I'm so glad it came out after Dear Reader because we took the exact same approach to the worst kind of situations. How was dinner with Alex Jones and Blair White? It was great. It was really, really great. Hi, Michael. Banned on post-election North Korea, McGinnis and Kumia and other disaverables of the regime. Got to remember they need to memory hold the Trump era discourse. Well, my book, The New Right, is all about that, and that's not can't be memory hold. I found your work when Jordan Peterson stepped away and really appreciate what you do. I read your book. I read your book last month when I got the Great Sickness and enjoyed it. Which book? Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's really great. That's really, really great. Oh man, I got to catch up. The best part about Lex entering the chat is watching the chat erupt into a sea of binary. Okay. If you could fight one historical figure, who would it be? Well, I'd want to be someone I can win, right? So they have to be a small. Who would I want to beat the crap out of? This is really narrowing down the list. You know what? It would probably be Stalin because he's like 5'4", and he's got a crippled arm. So I could probably, even though he was a gangster in his youth, I could probably do a good number on him. Thank you for signing your book at Tom Woods 2000. Thank you, Elizabeth. That's very sweet of you. What are the best tacos you've had so far in Austin? There have been so many good ones. I highly recommend Velvet Taco. There's a good taqueria near me run by, actual Mexicans. There's two near me that I enjoy. So it's been, and also El Alma is superb. Just got my CDL today, and these trucker protests made me proud to go into this field. Thank you for your service. It's a really tough job, and you make it so I have food. So, yes, you should be admired. You inspired me. I'll give you my money if I want. You're the best. Ugh, she's a woman for 10 minutes, and she can't shut the F up. Would you share your denim connection on a live stream? Yes, I already have. So just look at my channel, look for denim. I did the whole thing. Currently working on in Sweden, getting annoyed with the crazy tax. Should I try to move to Texas, or would COVID jeopardize my freedom in Texas? Yes, I would. We could certainly use more freedom lovers here. So absolutely, I would recommend Texas to many people who are like-minded. Crypto's on the rise again. Here is your share. Oh, thank you so much. That's very nice of you. That really is very nice of you. Thank you. There's no men with absolute. So Joe, do you understand that if you listen to Joe Biden, he would tell you with a straight face that Roe v. Wade is like more of a right than the Second Amendment? And he's correct, given how the law works. You need to get that through your head, conservatives. The law is whatever people in power decide it is. Would you have Stephen L. Miller on again? Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. We're pals. He's just amazing. His Twitter game is cannot be beat. When will you make your epic return to the cash cab? Well, I think that those days are over, especially because I really pissed off the host by design. Seems to me truckers are pointing at the public to force government's hand the same way BLM tends to. No, I don't see it's the same at all. I think BLM had corporate support, whereas the truckers, from what I've seen, seems to be much more working class support. And the government's hand was enforced by BLM. The government endorsed it and stood down. I invented a lifting belt with half-inch hole spacing and it got patented. Got to use those state resources. It's made by Pioneer Powerlifting in Texas. Can we send you one? Absolutely. My mailing address is at michaelmouse.com/contribute, but I'm not going to use it because I'm a total puss at the gym. So I'm not at the lifting belt level yet. And my body dysmorphia got resolved this week. So that's a whole other story. Sorry, I'm broke. Hello. Can we cuss here? Absolutely. I'm on my way to white pilling all the travelers in my circle. Thank you for all you do. I hope you mean that literally. The best recruiting tool the right has is the left. That may be true. Okay, I'm going to do this for another 13 minutes. If there's enough questions, then I'm going to bounce. Hey, Mike. I'll be sure to forward this to Mike. Is taking down episodes goes against Joe's contract? I don't know about Joe's contract. There's information out there, but I've never discussed it with him. What do you think about the Brave search engine? I'm not familiar. I'm a boomer. I'm a complete boomer. Hong Kong. One historical figure I could fight, toss up between Gandhi and Mother Teresa. That's racist. That's racist. I found $5. I would fight the cherry tree. That tree is racist. My dad didn't like you at first, but your conversation with Glenn Beck changed his mind. You got at least one boomer fan now. Oh, that's very nice. I heard his son is Did I get trolled into my family disowning me? Oh my God, that's awful. Or are people really threatening the idea of the inherent freedom in anarchist society? Can't wait for the white pill. Well, I'm sorry to hear you got disowned. Good Lord. Internal sabotage. I don't know what that means. I'm not an anarchist. I'm a social democrat, but you helped me realize the importance of boundaries and having fulfilling friendships and relationships. I haven't listened in a while. Yeah, I don't care what my friends' politics are. People can get this through their head. In the same way that, let's look at it this way. This is how I explain it. If someone likes a band I like, does that mean I'm going to be friends with them? Or if someone hates a band I like, am I going to be friends with them? I don't care. So if someone has my politics, that's great. And if someone does, that's great too. Doesn't. It matters how we get along. And I'm not saying we're not having political conversations. That's what Twitter's for. That's why my podcast is for. And my appearances otherwise. I just started Stephen Kotkin's biography on Stalin. Do you have any book recommendations on the history of the Soviet Union? I can think of one that's coming out in the near future. Are we almost caught up? Your stance on cops never made full sense to me. They are a mostly right-leaning institution, and if you're inspiring good guys to quit the state, is just going to replace them with leftist goons. I don't know what I'm not on the right, so I don't care if something's a right-leaning institution. The NRA is right-leaning and has done an enormous amount of harm in terms of gun rights. Mitt Romney is right-leaning. George Bush was right-leaning and has killed many people, including Americans. So you can't be a good cop. You can be a kind cop. You could be a smart cop. You could be a friendly cop. But by the nature of the job, you are doing evil things to innocent people and getting paid with stolen money regardless. Dragged my fiance there. He loves his new sheath underwear. Yeah, I am happy to endorse it because I wear it literally every day. The conversation you're welcome at homeschooling and how the kids are looked at was great. Yeah, Corey's the best, just absolutely the best. Do you foresee video nasties commanding big prices in the future? NFT archives of banned conversations? No, because I think there's always going to be new banned conversations. Listen to your episodes in Thad's podcast today. Thank you for being a friend to him, giving him the space to tell his side of the story. He doesn't deserve the treatment he's received. By the way, you have that Rosie O'Donnell user pick. I went back today and watched what Trump was saying about Rosie when they had their feud. You could look it up on YouTube, and it's really mean and really, really hilarious. I'd love to hear you speak more about absurdism. That's a whole long topic. No more dysmorphia. Fat Michael plus Alec. I'm not going to get fat, Tubby, but I also have a much healthier understanding of the body and goals and things like that. The general welfare clause in the Constitution basically can be interpreted to mean they could do whatever they want, right? Correct. And if it wasn't there, they'd find something else. What the general welfare clause means, and Tom Woods addressed this in our show, Politically Correct Guide to the Constitution, it meant if you're going to pass a program, it has to be for the general welfare as opposed to the specific welfare, meaning I can't pass a bill that says New York's going to get a lot of money. It has to be for everyone. But they turn that into meaning, well, if something can be construed to help everyone, therefore it's constitutionally permissible. It's total crap. And you don't have to guess because what happened, we have all their notes. They had these arguments at the time. Can we get you on Rumble, Michael? I'm going to have to see because there was drama with Rumble and Odyssey, and I like the guys at Odyssey, and the Rumble stuff didn't sit well with me. So I'd have to get to the bottom of that first. This is for your tiny candle in a dark room tweet. I really appreciate your tweets about positive thinking, getting your mind out of negative thinking. That's so much more important than anarchism. Like, it's not even close. You look like a Gopnik Tommy Robertson. Keep rocking. Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. He's got a strong jawline. Can't wait for the white pill. I was a very cynical person, so you helped me realize that bad people only have a big head start. Yes. Thank you. And I have the receipts. At least I think I do. What's the best way for someone to buy Dear Reader? Do whatever you want. Amazon is probably the best way, but if you can't afford it, you have my blessing. Thoughts on Hawaii's COVID response? I'm not familiar with that at all. Do you like Bond movies? I liked GoldenEye, and the first movie I think I saw in the theaters was For Your Eyes Only. Your books are required reading for my teenage boys. Appreciate all you do. Her the oldest 17. Listen to your interview with Dankel. It made my day. You are very, very blessed, or maybe you've done a very good job. Let's say not the blessed. You've done a very good job that you could have that kind of relationship with your kids, and that you have those conversations. That's really special. I hope you appreciate that. Do you think any government / elite is behind the convoy? I don't know. I wouldn't have any way of knowing. I would guess no. I'm trying to convince a friend about the truckers. Their main response is whenever you're on the same side as the Nazis, you're on the wrong side. Any thoughts? Yeah, you're wasting your time and you're stupid and you're only going to make things frustrating for yourself. There's no, this person is mindless. It's very upsetting that Spotify took down episodes of my favorite underwear model. What does the ... add to that sentence? I don't understand why people do that. Please tell Blair to have her Austin meet up. I love your video together too. Okay, Blair, I'm sure you're watching. She's got nothing to do. Have you been out to the shooting range yet with Alex Jones? I have not. I'm waiting for my first gun. It's going to be something pretty special. Have you considered talking to Jamie Hyneman on a podcast to discuss Russian literature? I hate Russian literature because it's so slow paced. Have you gotten a driver's license yet? I have not. I'm going to get my driver's license when I finish the white pill and have postpartum depression because I won't have a project going on. Then I'll have a project. I will start learning how to drive. My Armenian brother, George, loves you and is fat. Okay. Been writing a novel for the last 2.5 years. I'm finishing the 3rd draft this weekend. Thank you for making me realize I can write a book. Anyone can. Look at that bookstore. They're all terrible, especially me. Thank you for red pilling me. Sorry you got canceled. I'm like a 3rd canceled, right? What does that even mean? Like Louis C.K., I guess. We're on the ground here in Ottawa getting coverage of the convoy. The Ottawa elitists are seething. Check us out at the Postmodern. Awesome. Sending love, Malice. Hello, Eliza. Your shout out to Mark Dice doing Brian Stelter impressions on Rogan was awesome. I was just watching Mark Dice's new video today. Mocking the corporate press needs to happen more often. My understanding is that Stelter's in real trouble over at CNN, but I do not have any kind of particularly good inside information. Kendra Edwards finished the Anarchist Handbook yesterday. If you're a girl, why are you posing like perpendicular? Finished the Anarchist Handbook yesterday. Was not disappointed. You have opened new doors in my thinking. PS hot bod, sir. I've got a dad bod now because I'm on bulk. It's my birthday, and this is a bubblegum ice cream for me. Great smile. Thanks for all you do. Well, that's they haven't had bubblegum ice cream in Austin yet since I moved here, and I'm mad about it. Like really mad about it. Do the sheath underwear have different size junk compartments? No, but it's stretchy. And it's pretty sizable. Not that I would need to know. Like a thimble. Just want to say, as a new houseplant enthusiast, I'm deeply jealous of your succulent collection. They're all indoors because of the cold weather we were having. What was the catalyst for you to start getting swole? I think it was probably hanging out with Matt Hughes and realizing I don't have to get to his level to be in better. I could still be in better shape. So you don't have to compare yourself to. I don't have to compare myself to Tolstoy to be an author. I don't have to compare myself if I want to be a politician to Biden or Trump, and I don't have to compare myself to Mr. Olympia. So everyone can be a lot better than they are now. If the cancel crowd thought whacking Joe would prevent his friends from discovering equally cool people like yourself, they failed. You tell him, Mega Man. Jesus Christ. What is going on there? What are you running? Have Rogan remove Lex's episodes for April Fools and film Rex's reaction. I predict tears. But robots can't cry. Thanks for everything. Sending honks to the great truckers up north. The irony is that they're honking. Like, how is meme magic not real? It's like a literal clown world where they're literally honking at people. Okay, I got to go in a couple of minutes. I'm at the trucker protest. 0 chances organized by elites. ... Hey, Paul. Oh, this was actually a really funny story. This was a really funny story. I'm in the bathroom at, what's it called? Native Bar. I was there with someone who was waiting outside. This guy calls out. He's like, I'm going into the stall because that's the VIP area of a bathroom. And the guy's like, hey, sorry to do this in here, but are you Michael Malice? And then he's at the sink. He yells this at me. I go, yeah. Some guy leans back from the urinal. His friend goes, hey, that is him. And they were very cool because they waited in the hall until I was done taking out my tampon. Not sorry for cornering you in the men's room. Thank you for being gracious with your time. If you ever meet me in real life, go online and tell people that I smelled. I was 4'10", and I was really just thought I was better than everyone. Please, I have a reputation. Here's yet another $5 you're in the men's room. Well, that was the price for the handy. When are you going to do Tim Dillon? When I'm invited. Thanks for the Reich Pill joke I made. Appreciate all the work. Gonna work on being a crappy Barnes & Noble author and be free. Yeah, good. Mazel tov, approved. Have you heard the song Malacha Doma Sudna? They're Russian. Their sound reminds me of your aesthetic. It sounds like a nightmare. I do not like Russian music. The law is whatever we're willing to accept. The elites are not capable of occupying every street corner. Well put. You've made a profound impact on my life, and I can't thank you enough. Well, apparently $5 is not much thanks. I'm joking. You don't owe me anything. And I'm very, very happy that you've improved yourself. How can you generally tell if someone is mindless and you have a conversation with them? It's easy. When they say the thing you expect them to say, but they say it in the same exact way as everyone else. And you should just generally assume odds are whoever you're talking to is mindless. Because most people aren't interested in politics, but they feel they need to be informed, so they're just going to repeat what's on the screens. GFM is seizing the remaining 9 million at the request of government. Go get your money back, people. Good advice. My daughter, oh, that's so great. I'm so glad to hear that. My daughter's a month old, just made it home. Listened to most of your podcasts while she was in the ICU. Oh my God, that's so wonderful. That's great. Oh, that's really nice. It's payday. Have some ice cream on me. Nice glasses. I like those glasses. Do you have any blue-pilled friends? I don't think I do. Do I have any blue-pilled friends? Do I have any like friends? Like no, I don't like. I've like people I hang out with. I don't even know if I hang out with blue-pilled people. There's got to be some, but I don't talk about politics with everyone. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't know. I must. I wouldn't know it though. Check your mentions on Twitter. Just clip 963 for you as you argue for eliminating government. I'm a bird on Twitter. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna bounce in like a few minutes. Pull episodes in order to spur renegotiations. That I don't think that's the case here at all. At all. They would threaten it. No, that's bad. That ruins the relationship. It's bad. Thanks for keeping me entertained while I wait to see if this fertilizer plant is going to level my house. I feel like there's a lot more to this story than I'm seeing. Do you think deepfakes, synthesized audio will become indistinguishable from reality? I think for a lot of people, what's on the news is indistinguishable from reality. So I don't think that will ever be the case. I think there'll always be some way to tell. Because as one increases, then the ability to figure it out increases. Okay, I am going to. That's it. I've caught up. Great. I'm going to head out. Go do my squats, which is the worst half hour of my week. I hope this clarified things. I don't think it did, but just so there's no more information. So I hope you're having a great weekend. I have a lot planned. Thank you again for all the support at malice.locals.com. And I will see you soon.